Good morning, everyone. It's October 7th. We got another morning market rundown here. Let's dive into some price action and some potential scenarios. So, start out with last week's trading week. Okay, we could see here Monday, we we retraced a little bit from this all-time high, and we're trading down. The anticipated scenario would potentially be down to this 20-day moving average, this 565 area. I was talking about the 560 area last week, and we didn't get that. We didn't decline that far so far. So this brings us to the intermediate time frame, and we could see here some potential scenarios that we mapped out. Let's get rid of these here to clean this up. But ideally, we looked for see if this 2-day VWAP, Thursday's VWAP was going to on Friday. We were looking to see if Thursday's VWAP was going to be a level of resistance and get some potential downside, and this 5-day moving average continue to to flatten out the climb, or we're going to get this rally up, some consolidation, and a potential push. So we get the rally up, gap up, retrace the Thursday's VWAP, reclaim the daily VWAP, and the week to date right here. You could see this is Monday's VWAP, the green. We retraced this area, got back above the daily VWAP, and pushed in strong for the finish. Now, in the pre-market this morning, we're trading back down in this 570 area. So this gap up right here, you can see this VWAP has been acting as a line in sand that we've talked about. So we're trading above it, trading underneath it, trading back at it. So we're back at the all-time high VWAP and this gap up VWAP and filling in this VP area. So perhaps let's talk about our levels for today on our potential scenarios. So let's get rid of these and let's see what the potential scenarios are for today are. So perhaps we could get a potential little shakeout, continued little shakeout down into this area, then start to get some consolidation back at this 570, and then start to break back up, and maybe we could break into a new all-time high. So we'd potentially be looking for a scenario like this, that we shake out maybe down to this 567 area, get the month-to-date VWAP and Thursday's VWAP, shake out to the 568 area, 567, rally back up, start to reclaim this 570. Right at this point, this would be our 2-day VWAP. So this could be a good fine line in the sand that we're looking for. This 2-day VWAP, I'll put it in aftermarket hours so we could see what it looks like. So here's the 2-day VWAP, right? So maybe we could rally up to this, either reject it or reclaim it above here and get evidence that the buyers regain control. Look for that push to 572, 574, and upside continuation. So that's a potential scenario I'll be looking for, is monitoring this 568 to 566 area, see if we could trade back up into 570, start to slow down a little bit, get some consolidation, and then start to reclaim this 570 for continued push to 572 to 574, monitoring for a rejection at the 570, and then a further breakdown to 567, and that could bring us back down to this 563 to 561 area. So without the pre-market data, it would look something like this, that our upside potential will look like that, and our downside potential will look potentially something like this, that maybe we continue to shake out, bounce, and if we can't reclaim and get above, then we could start to meander and come back down to this 562. None of these are predictions. These are just potential scenarios to map out the potential way. QQQ. Okay. We have a bunch of drawings over here. Just clean this stuff up and get into this. So we talked about the similar scenario to this as the SPY, that this pullback to that 20-day moving average, right? We didn't actually get that tag, right? held this 478 area, and we bounced up. So that brings us to this intermediate time frame, and we could see here we have this declining 5-day that we were anticipating. So let's get rid of that. That's useless. Now we had this 5-day moving average that was anticipating to flatten and rise. So maybe this could be our rally to a new high, right? This turns over, lets this 5-day start to flatten out, and maybe we could get a launch pad off this. So let's clean this up here and talk about these potential scenarios and price levels. So on this QQQ, it's going to be a similar situation to the SPY, right? Let's see if we could get a little shakeout down into this 480 area. Get excited people to short 480, then turns on them, and we get something like that. So a little shakeout, rally down to this 480 area, 481, reclaim back up in this 484 area. Look for this continuation to get back into 490. Same thing here as we talked about in the SPY. This 2-day VWAP can become our line in the sand here. And to give you a view what it looks like with aftermarket, right? We'll have 2-day VWAP. So maybe we get bounce into this area to reclaim daily VWAP. Our daily VWAP kind of comes like this, right? And then maybe we could look for some type of setup. If this was to get some continued strength, rally up, consolidate between the 2-day and daily VWAP, and get some strength to break above. Or if we start to reject the 2-day and break underneath this 481, we could monitor further continuation down to that 475 area. So those are the potential scenarios on the Qs. Hopefully this was helpful.